Well, hello my friends, welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. In today's episode, we're going to talk about copywriting. Well, hello my friends, welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. I'm here with none other than Andrew Purdum. Hi Andrew,
Hey guys, I'm fantastic. Sergio, it's so good to be here.
So we are right now outside of this beautiful building. We're at a conference called Carrot Can, which is an amazing conference all about marketing. And actually I'm here because Andrew invited me. Andrew is one of my coaches. He's teaching me all about copywriting. We've been working together for the last 3 years or so, and he has actually been in another episode of Breakfast with Sergio before.
Yeah, we did before. We talked a bit about how the human brain works and how people make buying decisions.
Exactly.
And like the event, CarrotCon here, it's all about how do you turn cold traffic are people who have never heard of you, who've never considered working with you. How do you take them and promote to them and turn them into paying customers?
Right. So on this episode, we're going to talk about a little bit about how do we apply kind of what we're hearing here and what you already know really well to an artist, right? For example, as we approach our audience with our work, and the way we talk to our audience in our work, maybe to a cold traffic audience, you know, people that have never heard from us, have never seen us, you know, what are the best ways to kind of present ourselves to them in the way in which we make our copy for posts, for emails, and things like that?
Great questions. Let me first say that there are 3 basic laws of selling. When we talk about copy, we have to first consider the way that people buy. The 3 laws of selling are, number 1, people do not like to be sold. They love to buy, but they hate feeling like they're being pitched. They hate feeling like they're being sold. Think about when you're at a car dealership, someone comes up to you and is like, so, how much you want to spend today?
Just
like, what do you want? You're like, oh, I'm just kind of looking around. You don't like feeling like you're being pushed. So that's the first thing to consider. That's law number 1 of selling. Law number 2 is people buy things for emotional, not logical reasons. There has to be a deep connection to whatever it is that you're buying. There has to be a core emotion that you're trying to tap into, and they have to really feel that and then feel that specific emotion being amplified before they're ready to make a buying decision. And then rule number 3, or law number 3, is they have to back it up with logic. So
I got you.
They made a decision like, yeah, I really resonate with it. Does it actually make sense to buy it? If it doesn't make sense, then they never will. So when we're thinking about copywriting and posts, the first thing we have to do, especially if you're an artist and you're selling luxury goods, is you have to make yourself really relatable. Being relatable and being emotional right off the bat, that is how you get people into your copy. This is what we call a lead. And when I'm talking about a lead, I don't mean like a prospect, like, oh, this person just signed up for something. A lead is your introduction into your copy. So yesterday we were at dinner and you told me the story of 2 brothers who overcome great adversity, and they were fantastic artists. And that really made me consider, wow, when we're talking about art, part of the value of it is not just what is this piece about, but what's the story behind it and what's the story of the artist that created it. So if I'm working in luxury goods and there's a really strong, compelling, emotional story that the end user would relate with, I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to pull out this scenario. I'm going to tell it as if I'm the one that's experiencing it, because you want your audience to experience it as well.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think that's a great example because, you know, as you are working with me right now, right? So I'm an artist, but so not being an artist yourself, or working with too many artists, but when you hear that story, that pulled you in.
Exactly.
So stories have like this power to pull people into who we are and what we do.
So for just like a brief example there, I've overcome a lot of adversity in my life, and so many people have. And when Sergio was telling me the story of these 2 brothers who had gone through various different situations that they had overcome, I was like, wow, I really feel that. I really resonate with that. And part of good copywriting is writing in a way that helps people understand what you're trying to say. Remember, communication is not what you say, it's what people hear and what they feel.
That's good. So when we're creating a post, for example, say, okay, I want to introduce this new work to an audience. So it's a good idea then to share our story as well.
Yes, absolutely.
In some way or fashion.
Absolutely. So let me just give you a very concrete example of what I would do here. So let's say that theoretically, Sergio, he has got a new piece of art. It's about overcoming adversity, since that's kind of what we're talking about. Let's just stick with the theme. For illustration's sake, I would start off with a story. I would start off with the story of where I've been and what I've been through and I would go along the lines of adversity. We've all faced it. We've all struggled with it. There's all these mountains that we have to climb. And there are times when we're going up that hill, when we're climbing up that mountain, we can't always see on the other side. We can't see the peak. We're struggling. It's hard. You know, we got winters, we have springs of our life. But the reality is just as there are always winters in life, there are also always springs too. And that's why I created this work of art. I created it to inspire hope. I created it to remind you that there's a brighter future, that there's a better path, that even though things are really tough right now, there is hope for you in store. And that's how I would tap into that kind of emotion. And then I would start transitioning into, and when you order this piece of art, when this is hanging on your wall, you can be reminded of that. And then your friends and your family who are over visiting at your house or your office or wherever this work of art is displayed, they'll be able to see that. They can tap into that emotion too.
Which I love that, because then it doesn't sound like you are selling. It doesn't sound sales. It's like, hey, here's my art, buy it, 50% off, whatever, right? So you're introducing the person through a story, bring attention to you, the worker through a mutual feeling, right, as well. And then at the end, kind of like that transition, which you just maybe said really like, of, okay, this is how, when you have this in your home, you can think about those things, or it might remind you, or it might inspire you, or it might do those things.
Absolutely. So you have to be really emotional in your copy, and then start thinking about what we call benefits. So when we talk about benefits in copywriting, it's not necessarily like, here are the benefits you get when you sign up for a 401k or when you sign up for health insurance. A benefit is a tangible way that a life is going to be made better, and in copywriting we have to really appeal to those in what we call deeper benefits. So for example, for an artist, a benefit could be that when you have art on your wall in your house or in your office and you bring a business contact over, they're going to respect and admire you. They're going to see you as someone who's well cultured, who invests in his life and personal enrichment, and they're going to think, wow, I want to work with that person. And suddenly that piece of art isn't just for you and what you want in your own emotions, your experiences. It's also about improving your business, making more contacts, changing impressions.
Right. And what I like about that too is that in all this conversation or in all this copy, we're not telling people what to think about the art.
Right.
We're not telling the person this is the meaning of it, but rather, which I enjoy, is that I want the public or the viewer to discover what it's about, right?
Exactly.
To have their own conversation, come out with a meaning. So this kind of gives you a whole new way of working and writing about your art without telling people this is how you should think about what it means, because what it means for you, it might be something different to what it means to the next person. But you're still bringing attention to the work and to your story and to the value of it and so on.
Absolutely.
That's very good. That's a great point. Absolutely.
And one last thing I'll mention here. I'm going to give this away. I wasn't originally planning to talk about this.
Do it. It's conference day.
It's conference day, so we're all about helping people as much as possible. Whenever you're writing ad copy, doesn't matter if it's a Facebook post or an email or a paid ad or a sales letter, there is a 4P framework that I always use. Most of the time,
told me about it,
I've told you about this so much, yes. And he's actually implemented it and seen tremendous results because of it.
Right.
But it's promise, picture, proof, and push. Now, your 2 Ps, promise and picture, they're about getting people highly emotional. So that's the story I talk about. That's tying to that deep emotion and the deep benefit that you're going to get. And then when you start getting into proof and push, that's telling people how they can take you up on an offer and how that they can buy now. And when we say proof, it doesn't mean like prove that it's art or that it's whatever it is. It's proof that it's the best solution for you, and that it's what you need in your house or in your office or wherever your art's going to be. So use that framework. You'll be able to structure your copy easier, and when you actually put your copy down on the page, you'll see it become more effective.
Right. For our friends who just kind of maybe they have missed those 4 words, what are those 4 Ps really quickly?
It's promise. It's promise, picture, proof, and push.
Awesome.
4 Ps.
So 4 Ps, super cool, very useful. Well, Andrew, where can our friends find you as well if they ever need your services?
You can find me at Andrew Purdum. Just type me in. I always accept friend requests. You can find me at unveiltheweb.com or at andrewpurdum.com. In fact, if you go to andrewpurdum.com, you can actually download my free guide where I talk about the 4P framework in more depth. So just go to andrewpurdum.com. You'll be able to take that for free. I show you how to use it, and I know that's going to help you whenever you're writing any kind of copy. So you're going to want to do that so you can write it quicker, faster, and more effectively than ever before.
Right, and well, I'm a living proof that what you're teaching, it works, has worked for me really well, presenting my art, selling my art, particularly this year. So thanks much again for your help.
Yes,
we
sir.
gotta go back here to the conference right behind us. They're about to start. So
Yep.
Thanks again, my friends, for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Breakfast with Sergio. Goodbye.
Take care.